Something I haven't been able to say since I've been playing this game for over 3 years now. We have the new best champion in the entire game. Now, that's pretty, I don't know, I just have no words. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What up, team? It's your boy MurderInc here, back again with another Shadow Legends video. Here we are on the test server talking about the new legendaries coming out, and Plarium did not disappoint. So we had a recent batch of champions come out. They were pretty underwhelming. There were a few okay ones. The visuals were brilliant, but the champions left a lot to be desired. That's not going to be the case for this current iteration of the test server and new champions, and one of them specifically that we're talking about today. Here it is, Yumeko, I'm pretty sure it's Yumeko. Support Shadowkin champion, the new best champion in the game. Like, we're going to get into it in a second. Let's talk about the aesthetics because I like doing this. We have like a 9-tailed fox, but it's 5, although one tail is not on fire, a little bit sus. I don't know how I feel about that one. I didn't notice that until right now. She looks great. She looks definitely different than anything we've seen before. She reminds me of some kind of like cartoon I think I've seen with some evil spirit that kind of looks like this that would transform. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. We're talking about the champion here. So looks, 2 thumbs up. Now let's talk about the skills. I'm just going to hit you with it, okay? I'm going to hit you with everything all at once here. Picture Warlord plus Kymar. That's what we're looking at right here. Decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills by 3 turns and increases the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 3 turns. 5-turn cooldown will not decrease the cooldowns of this champion's other skills. What? Are you kidding me? Listen, if you're a whale in this game, I am praying for you. I really am. Because you're about to be swiping, my friend. So listen, this skill is, I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. Yes, there's no turn meter boost and there's no turn meter decrease that Warlord and Kymar both have on the other parts of their skills that do this, but this is pretty crazy. First of all, this doesn't hit the champions, which makes it strong in itself because Warlord, even though he doesn't technically hit hard, he can hit hard if he crits. Everyone has a base chance to crit. He can remove a debuff from the team, or he can interrupt a sleep or some type of sleep CC from any other champion in the game. This Yumeko doesn't have to worry about that at all. And once again, of course, she is void affinity, so there is going to be no weak affinity for this champion. Now, let's just move to the A1 here. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 7.5% chance of stealing the target's turn meter if this champion has more than 50% health, or heal this champion by 30%, which is a lifesteal effect, if it has less than 50. So this is a really good A1 on top of things. Moving on to the A2 here, and you are going to see there's a partner bonus. We'll get into that a little bit later. Attacks one enemy, has an 80% chance up to 100 once booked of placing that Hex debuff. Whenever an enemy tries to place debuffs on this champion or an ally, so this champion or an ally, it's a 55% chance up to a 75% chance when booked of transferring those debuffs to a random enemy under Hex that Yumeko placed. It cannot be an AoE Hex from someone else and it goes to all of them. That would be really broken. That would be broken. There's no other word for it. So that happened. That's good. This happens before any debuffs are placed. If you're curious as to why this is, I had to think about it for a little bit myself. It's because of masteries like the counterattack one, Deterrence. If someone's going to place a CC, it's going to instantly transfer it instead of having the CC applied to your champion, letting your other allies counterattack first and then reflecting it or redirecting it as they worded it here. So just to clarify, that has a 30% chance instead against bosses, so potentially some Hydra use here. Not too sure about this because, like I said, this is a single target. So Arena, it's going to be really strong. Somewhere like Doom Tower can be strong as well, but Hydra, once you start getting to 4 targets, you cannot spread this. If you spread a debuff, it's coded so the person who is spreading it is the owner of the Hex debuff, so it's not going to work that way. But Moving on to the partner bonus, I do want to cover this in a separate video where I show both of these champions together, but whenever someone fills the turn meter of an enemy under Hex debuff placed with this champion's turn meter will be filled instead, because that's balanced. Only available when Karato Fox Hunter is on the same team here. So Destiny's Mirror, I mean, it may look underwhelming at first, but once you play around with this, I mean, this is screaming arena. I'm sure you've already picked up on that. And the passive here, Perfect Veil on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each round. This champion is immune to all debuffs because the rest of this champion's kit just wasn't good enough. If they are under Veil or Perfect Veil, whenever Veil or Perfect Veil buff is placed on an enemy has a 75% chance of stealing the buff. Hey Duchess, how's it going? This happens before the buff is placed on the initial target here, only available once again with that partner bonus. So that's a lot. That is a lot. And just to cap it off, we have plus 60 accuracy in all battles as an aura, but wait, it gets better. Base stats, 105 base speed. So let's just say we want to compare this to a Kymar. Where is Kymar? Or let's just say we want to compare this to Warlord. Oh look, 100 base speed. Let's compare it to a Kymar. 103 base speed. So you know what? Why not make a champion that has both of their skills combined? 105 base speed. Why not? Really smart by Plarium because Shadowkin is fairly new, not crazy new anymore. I get it. But the amount of people who will have proper accessories for a champion like this, it means more farming. It's smart on their move. So what are we going to do here? How are we going to use this? Like I said, if you pull this champion for progression, I mean, just think about it. The amount of control this has in itself here, being able to reduce the cooldown of skills by 3. Once you fully book it, let's just talk about the books for a second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 books. Not crazy high like we've seen in other champions here. So for such a good champion, you would think they want to milk the book value as much as they can, which they didn't here. So this concerns me. Plarium's doing a lot of right things here. I'm nervous something crazy bad's gonna happen. I really am. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but let me know what you guys think. So crazy for progression. We have the ultimate CC you can think of for any enemy wave, right? Reducing all of the skills by 3 turns. So this will take care of at least 1 wave completely by itself, assuming you can survive the A1s, which you should be able to survive the A1s, and then resets the duration of the cooldowns of your ally by 3 turns as well. X is going to be nice, the A1 is going to be nice for sure, but Arena is where this champion's value to the moon, to the absolute moon. So you can build her 2 different ways. I think they were rather smart with the balancing because while I would consider her the best champion in the game now based on her kit, I am going to say that they didn't necessarily make her broken. Now hold on a second, let me explain that. So think about it this way, if they had split this up into 2 different skills here, this champion would have been much better, because decreasing the cooldown, like for Warlord example, you want Warlord to go first. That's the key there. You want Warlord to go after your turn meter booster in the arena, reset their cooldowns, and you're fine. Kymar, however, he's always going to use his sleep first when you're using him. And you know this because anytime we had the old AI system, we either had to manual it or we had to make sure that he wasn't just resetting his cooldowns randomly because most champions weren't using their strong cooldowns just yet. So there was a slight balancing factor. Thankfully, like I said, it's weird how they put so much thought into this when they did make this champion. But this is where it gets weird because this is actually really strong with stone skin gear. Now you can build this champion slower, let your other champions go, whatever, and you have someone who, I mean, Warlord and stone skin is probably one of the scariest things you can ever come across in the arena because you have to strip the buffs or, I mean, GG, right? Now, the same thing applies, except she's also resetting the cooldowns of, let's say, perfect example would be a Hegemon. Now, a typical Hegemon, it can either be damage or CC. Now, think about it this way. I have a CC Hegemon here that's really fast, 328 speed in a stun set, so lots of CC potential. Now, if he's using his A2 ability, she's in Stone Skin, she's using this A3 ability, we now have this 4-turn cooldown reduced by 3 turns. That's scary. That is scary because of how fast he is. So he's going to have the ability to be using this A2 very quickly in succession here because of this champion here. Of course, it's not going to reduce the skill by 4 turns. I'm pretty sure they kept this in mind because a lot of really strong cooldowns are 4-turn cooldowns or higher here, but this is just going to open up so many things here. So we're going to take her into the arena right now. We're going to see what's going on with this champion. Like I said, I do have her in kind of a, oh, this is tag arena, not where I want to be, that's for sure here. So let's just, who should we go against? Let's go against, what would be a smart team to use this champion against? I'm going to say, okay, not Glycia, not this, not that. I mean, we could go against this one here. Okay, we're going to go against Kyre Gamer here. So we're not going to use the duo bonus because I don't want to spoil anything yet about that. Broken, by the way. I mean, a little bit of spoiler, but nothing too crazy yet. So we're going to use this here. I don't know if we need Kymar because, I mean, we can see the synergy between Kymar. We did just have an event, so people are going to have Kymar here. It might be interesting. And we also have red champions, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and use the Hegemon since I did mention that before. Do I want to use a nuke one? Maybe not. First, I guess I'll just show you the strength of, maybe not actually. It's always hard coming up with things like this on the fly here. So we can do this. I really want to emphasize this new champion, so I don't want to kill, not to say this is an easy team to beat. This is not Flame, but I don't want to kill them too quickly, so we're not going to use an AoE nuker here. So let's go ahead, dive into this battle. We're not going to do too many arena battles. I do want to do one-time speed just to kind of show how everything's going to work here. So we got this going on. He's going to counterattack because reasons. Now I can use this now, or I can wait. And this is kind of what I was talking about before here. So if I use this, of course, cardio is going to cleanse here. So let's just go right ahead and go for it. Okay, it got resisted by one champion here. And I wonder, I'm pretty sure the only condition is going to, actually don't know the answer to this. I'm going to wait one turn just to see what happens here. So I'm going to use the A1 first. We're fine. I probably should have used the sleep, but it is what it is. Now we're going to, okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. We're now using back-to-back A2s from Hegemon. Granted, they all have block debuff on them, so it doesn't really matter for a team like this, but if you have Hegemon and you also pull this new champion, this is crazy. Now, is it the same thing as just having a Kymar? Of course it is. Okay, so this didn't work out at all. I picked the worst champions trying to show a slow battle, but as of right now, you kind of see what I'm, and of course, he's not geared. Typical MurderInc account test here. You know what? I think it would kind of be fun to swap in the damage Hegemon on top of things. All right, so now that we saw what we saw, let's try to have some double Hegemon, like fun action going on here. We have a nuke, we have a CC. It's going to get reset by our new favorite champion here. Let's just see what happens. I'm assuming they're going to have reaction. Let's see. Okay, not too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So this is where using Hegemon can be so incredibly strong here. We're going to use this. I mean, of course, if you happen to have two Hegemon just sitting around, this is really good. A little bit of that. So we're using A2 back-to-back here. Now they're getting their A1s in. And now we get to use our second nuke here once he does get a turn here. Making this crazy strong. Let's go ahead and put a Hex on. Who should we Hex? Let's just go ahead and hit Arbiter here. Little cool mechanic there. And of course, the fast Hegemon's getting 2 turns. Now we get to nuke again. So, yeah, this is busted. This is busted. Now, can you do this with Kymar? Of course you can. Is it as safe? It is not. Why is it not as safe? Because Kymar is simply resetting the cooldown. Kymar isn't kind of get-ridding all of the abilities from our enemy's team, making it much harder to pull off a double Hegemon nuke. So now it's just much easier. It's almost like having 2 Hegemon now. It's pretty incredible. So that was the first thing that I really wanted to try. A ton of fun here. You can do this with any nuker you want, and I'm telling you, this is just going to be so incredibly strong here. Now let's do the same thing against the infamous Leorius here. A complete pain if you don't have someone like a Genbo or someone that ignores unkillable here. So let's get right into it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun with someone like a Trunda. And we're also using Kaimar on top of things. So, okay, they go first. Typical. This is not what I wanted. Not like this, not like this. So I did lose the speed race here. And I think I'm just going to get nuked to death. Okay, so now we're going to pray that we can lower the turn meter here. So he doesn't... Okay, we did decrease the turn meter. Now we're going to do this. And watch. Now there's no nuke. We just have an A1. He does no damage because why? Just made a video on me building my own. Because he is full health and hits like an absolute wet noodle. Ally attack, Leorius is not involved. We wouldn't really care if he was either way. So this is what I mean by there's a little bit of balancing going on here, because we decreased the cooldown, but we also reduced our own cooldowns, and no one really went yet besides someone like a Sifi. So now we're gonna nuke here. We have the unkillable pop. We have all of this going on. Now use this. One thing I do want to show you, hopefully it's not too late for me to do this. I want to show you the A1 ability of the new champ. Look how cool it looks like. You're not going to be ready for this, so focus up here. It's like a fox leap. The first time I saw it, I was not expecting that at all here. So lots of really cool things we can do with this champion here. She doesn't have a speed aura, so that would have to be accounted for. You probably would take out someone like a Kaimar for an Arbiter. I mean, even Kaimar and this chick together is insane. As far as nuking possibilities, there's so much we can do for this. But more specifically, the duo with this champion. Like I said, if you pull this champion and you're watching this video, or if you're just watching it on the day I release it because you're interested about how good this champion is, this is going to change things for so many people in the arena. Now, you won't be able to see it from just this video, but once I start making guides on all of the legendaries, you will see how there's major potential for a lot of things to shift in the meta for the first time in a very, very long time. I want to say for at least, we might be coming up on 2 years now, maybe closer to a year and a half of having just the same meta. Reaction changed things a little bit. Then we did have Swift Parry change things a little bit. Then we had Reaction Gear. Now we have Stone Skin Gear. All of these things combined with a champion like Yumeko it's just going to be crazy. So as far as the masteries go, I want to show you what I did here. This, of course, is assuming that you're only going to be using her in PvP. If you want to use her for PvE, you can swap out the support tree for something like the offense tree, or you can do your own hybrid here. You can go offense defense, offense support, whatever you are really feeling here. But I would say this champion is going to do extremely well pretty much everywhere besides, I want to say clan boss. You can use her everywhere you're currently using Kaimar. The only benefit Kaimar is going to have in other places is going to be somewhere like Hydra. If you're counting on Kaimar to strip buffs, of course this champion cannot do that, but she does have a hex to kind of supplement the things like that. So there is that going for it as well here. So that's kind of the basic video I wanted to do on this champion. It's definitely not a full showcase of using her everywhere, but as far as the arena goes, it's very clear how strong this champion is going to be. As far as progression goes, if you're early, mid-game, late-game player, by the time you're at this point in the video, you should understand that if you get this champion, it's going to change things for you significantly, whether it's the Doom Tower, arena. If you want arena medals, this is your key to quick farming arena medals. Of course, you're going to need gear for this champion. I do get that, but you can pretty much put terrible stone skin gear on this champion, toss her in on defense, or use her for offense in that same build, and she's going to do crazy things. Now, just in case you were curious about a stone skin build, I would recommend something like this here. Granted, I've been farming Hydra for quite some time, so I have decent gear. We have 260 speed. This is kind of a good amount of speed. You could go higher, but you don't want to go crazy high because, like I said, you want your other champions to use their skills first, so you're not just resetting random cooldowns. You want your allies on your team, at least 2 of them at least, to be using some useful cooldowns, so you're getting a lot of benefit from Yumeko's A3 ability. So this is a good example of a stone skin build that would work great on Yumeko. Of course, I showed you the other way where it's just a really fast champion. 331 speed, I mean decently fast at least, 381 accuracy, 55,000 health, and 3,731 defense. So a lot of cool things going on here. Great champion. Give me your thoughts, give me your feedback. Who would you use this champion with? Give me your 4 ideal champions, including Yumeko in an arena team. What do you think is going to be the most powerful for you? So that's going to conclude this video. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.